All right, welcome everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 30th of April, 2025, and this is the Cluster API office hours meeting. Cluster API is a sub-project of Kubernetes SIGs, and as such, we follow their meeting guidelines, which can basically be summarized as please treat everyone as you would expect to be treated, or explicitly so, please be kind to each other. And if you have any questions or want to talk, please raise your hand and I'll call on you. Although it seems like we don't have very many people in here today, and it might not be a highly populated meeting. We'll see what happens here. I'll invite everyone to add themselves to the attending list if they like to. And at the beginning of our meetings, we like to give a chance for new attendees to introduce themselves or say hi. So I will be quiet for a moment. And if that sounds like something you'd like to do, please either speak up or raise your hand or whatever makes sense. All right. I am not seeing anyone unmuting or raising their hands, so we will move on to the open proposal readouts. So I think we just have the updating auto scaling one, but I don't see Alessandro here. I think that's basically just going through reviews at the moment. So if you haven't had a chance to review this, I think it's pretty close, but we probably need a few more reviews. I did a review recently and thought it was, it's looking good to me, but I think probably getting a few more eyes on it is probably good, especially since we have some proposed API changes in there. All right, any questions or comments about that before we move on? Okay, moving on to our regular discussion topics. Chris, you've got an announcement about the next version of Cappy here.
Yeah, 110.1 is out as of, well, yesterday. The biggest change is official 1.33 support. I don't think anything was changed to make that happen, but now we test and claim it officially. The other thing is a bootstrapping thing that eliminates an issue where a field that used to be optional was now required, and that was breaking some people's tooling. So one of those is fixed. I think there's others out there that still need to be resolved, but tiny update. But if you wanted 133, you're good to go.
Awesome. Thank you for the update and cool to see a quick Z-Stream patch out there already. So yeah, that's great. All right. Any questions or comments about the new release that's out? Fabrizio, please.
Hi everyone. Related to release, I just approved the release calendar for the next release cycle. Thanks Matt and Chris for preparing it. So the wheels keep moving. Thank you everyone. I'm going to link the PR so everyone can find it.
Yeah, thanks for the update, Fabrizio. That is a good question, Lubomir. SIG auto scaling usually does the release for that. And I'm not sure if they put it out yet. Has anyone been watching the cluster auto scaler? Like I didn't see a new release for it yet. We could check quickly if I can spell.
I checked the 132 release. It was delayed by 20 days after the release of Kubernetes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, that's probably a question better served at the SIG auto scaling meeting, unfortunately. It looks like nothing's been created so far. Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll have to take it there, unfortunately, Lubomir. Okay. Any other questions about that or comments? Alrighty. Moving on to provider updates. Fabrizio, you got a CAP V update here, please.
Yes, today we cut CAP V 113.0, which use latest copy from yesterday and also claim support to 133 to Kubernetes 133.
Awesome. Good to hear. So for all those Cap V users out there, there's a new version to get. So get ready for it. Any questions or comments about that? All righty.
I
yeah.
I have a general comment. So recently I checked all the provider in the SIG under the SIG umbrella, and looks like, with the exception of two, which are stuck at CAPI 1.7, looks like the majority is keeping up with cluster API versions. I would say that 30-40% of them are already testing 1.10, and the other are on 1.9, 1.9 recent patches. So yeah, great job from all the provider on keeping up with CAPI, generally speaking. I really appreciate what's going on there.
Chris, please.
Yeah, regarding at least one of those, the Equinix Metal Provider or Cluster API Provider Packet, as it's officially labeled, that one's probably dead end, and it's deprecated. They've just made a thread in the I don't work there anymore. I used to maintain it. They used to or they just put a thread in the Slack about how we should probably take it out of the documentation and start deprecating the whole repo and all that. So kind of a question of what's the right policy or process to follow for getting that out of there? Do we ask them to do it? Do we do it as the SIG? Like, what's the right way? I don't know that we've deprecated a lot of things that were in the SIG's repo directly before, right?
Yeah, this is something that anyone can do. We just file a ticket in, I think it was called the Kubernetes org repository, with the idea to shut down archive a specific repository, and somebody has to PR the community repo to remove the subproject under the SIG. If they are willing to help us with that, that's great. That is basically the process. If you can contact them to just open a thread in the sequence lifecycle channel with us, that would be great. Maybe they can engage to
Okay,
assist.
yeah. I'll let them know. It's currently in the cluster API channel. I'll tell them to move the thread.
A related question that I have, maybe Fabrizio, if you recently examined the status of CAPI providers, do we have anything else that we should shut down? Like, for example, we have KubeVirt, for example. We recently shut down one that was the nested provider. Do we have anything that is stale and we have to shut down?
So there are two providers which are at 1.7. I don't know if we can call them already stale. I opened an issue on both provider asking them to bump. So if I have to talk about generally, I think that the cluster add-on project is the one that we should take care first, because I don't see progress since a long time. But with regards to cluster API provider, I think that we should, let me rephrase this slightly. I do expect that people that create a provider are responsible for the provider, not only for creating, but also for sunsetting it. So, like the team from Packet are reaching out, oh, we want to archive our own. I expect also others to do so, and we as a SIG leader to step in only if things get really stale. Otherwise, we are doing babysitting, which I don't think that is a really good value for everyone. everyone should be responsible of their own stuff.
Sure, makes sense to me. If they're completely gone, we can do the archival ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. So if they are on 1.7, so I don't I know that they are consuming copy 1.7. Honestly, I did not check it if the report was entirely stale. So if there are no PR since 1.7. So it could be that they are just slow in picking up new release.
We don't have a specific rule which states, hey, this is our threshold for staleness. My personal one is around 1 year of inactivity, no response from owners, no commits. This is but that's mine.
So I'm talking about 1.7 because what happened is that we released the 1.10 last week, and when released last 1.10, basically 1.7 goes end of life according to our policy. And so this is why I make a tour across the provider, and if I saw one of them still on 1.7, I wrote, hey, you are in a release which is end of life. Please update. This could be another metric that we can use. It is a cluster API provider that use a cluster API release which is end of life. But yeah, I'm also okay in giving some additional time to folks to catch up.
Okay. I guess this is host API specific criteria.
Yes.
Do we envision a case where the specific provider may have customers that just don't care about newer cluster API and this is used in the wild? Or should we be strict and say, hey, you have to follow the community progress or we're going to archive your project?
So today there is no official community process, and before enforcing one, we have to sort of agree with everyone or with the majority. For now, it is just good sense. So I just I just gave an heads up to them. Please update because your copy version is out of support.
Yeah.
Honestly, if we decide to, like we did in the past, to check if repository or each provider is still lively, etc., I will try to reach out to the maintainers and ask them, please, what is your stance?
Yes. We also have the annual report, so we are forced to.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
I think that the annual report is a good moment, to sort of write a line and figure it out where we are, where we are going. So.
Yeah. The annual report is the real trigger that, for example, next year, before May, we may have to forcibly archive some providers of CAPI if they're not active. But we can also do it earlier if we, ad hoc see that there's no activity.
Yeah, as I said, the status seems generally good. I know that, for instance, Mike is working to look into merging a KubeMark provider into CAPI, and this could be maybe the next opportunity to archive something. But it is, let me say, it is for convenience of both that we are merging the two stuff. So I will search for the two that are still on older version and let you know, Lubomir.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you, Fabrizio, for getting into all this work and kind of doing the analysis there. I know like it becomes really tough to maintain some of these repositories over time, and if there's anything we can do to kind of pull them out of the Kubernetes SIGs or archive them where necessary, I think that's a great kind of cleanup work to do. So thank you for the time you're spending there, Fabrizio. Okay, anything else on that topic or any other kind of ad hoc topic? Okay, not seeing any hands going up, so I'll move along to the feature group updates. Just a quick announcement, there will be a Carpenter feature group meeting today. And there was no one at the last meeting, so I brought this up last time here. I think we're gonna switch to once every 4-week cadence after the meeting today. So if you have Carpenter questions, please bring them to the feature group in about 45 minutes or so. And that will bring us to the end of our agenda for today. I'll give one more chance. Does anybody have questions or comments they want to bring up before we call this meeting to an end? Going once? Going twice? Okay. We'll call that a meeting. Thank you everyone for coming out, and we'll see you next time.